We're back. Quick one today. I wanted to talk about the fractal nature of wealth. And fractal is not a term that I came up with. I heard it from obviously Jared Peters, but also who else said it? Who was the first person to say it? ICT says it. There's some other people who say it. I can't think of it. Those who I named call off the top of my head, but there's some other people who say it. And the idea is that everything can get broken down by scale, right? Everything is by scale, meaning in the trading world, stock market world, you could, the same percentage you can make with $1, you could make with $1 million, right? The return is fractal. So if I made 10% on $1, I made 10 cents. If I make 10% on $1 million, I made 100,000. The 10% is the same. The return differs based on the amount that is leveraged, right? But it's still fractal, meaning you're still getting the same result at each level, each financial level. I'm sure there's examples in real estate, and everywhere you look. Now, something that really hit me today. 2 days ago, I was listening to Alex Hormozy, super jacked for no reason guy. He's been doing a lot of ads lately for this school thing. But I was listening to him, and he has this idea, again, using the fractal nature of the universe, of work-life balance. And now everyone wants to be in a particular state of something. And forgive me if I'm butchering it a little bit. This is the way I heard it, I've internalized it, but now I'm trying to communicate it. So he describes it as people want to have work-life balance. When he's saying, if you step back and don't look at today, right? Because today is the dollar, right? We're talking about, like, if we compare it to the financial way of fracturing things, breaking down, whatever. If you step back and say, okay, I'm going to look at my work-life balance as it relates to my week, my month, my years, the last 3 years. If you look at the fractal nature of work-life balance, you can say to yourself, I've worked hard for 20 days this month, 25 days this month. To balance that out, I'm going to give myself a week off, right? Again, I'm just using a number. Or I went hard for 3 years to make this happen. I'm going to take a year to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop working, but now I'll be able to balance that out, right? Switch it from 80-20 to maybe 20-80, right? And balance out the span of the last 3 years. And I thought it was interesting because, again, you step back and you listen, you look, and you hear about the fractal nature of when it comes to finances, the financial industry. But it's finding it interesting to now relate that to just regular life, which I mean, probably for smart people, y'all figured out. But I'm just like, whoa, because I'll go, and then I'm like, damn, I need to just sit. But I don't like sitting for too long. When I sit down, when I'm watching the TV, watching a movie, I'm like, how can I do something on my phone? When I'm sitting, watching a movie, maybe I even turn the video game on and try to play for an hour. And I'm like, okay, in between the loading, let's say I'm playing Defiant, in between games, there's a minute or 2 minutes while the lobby's loading. I can have my laptop open and have price action going. Like, I'm trying to find other ways to just to not be just doing this. But the reality of it is, if I hold to the same principle, then I can take that time, because there's the balance, and it just so happens that I'm using that on the back end, right? And the fraction is just far smaller, right? This is just a different way to interpret it than what I was saying with price action. And I can really be just as diligent in my stepping away as I am with my foot in it, right? I can be just as diligent with my time to friends and family, really just family, and really focus in on them, be just as attentive to detail with that as I am with the 80% of the time that I'm looking at price action with the stock market, or as I'm going over my finances and going over my checkbook and things like that. And that's a hard thing, right? Because I'm thinking of changing the name of the podcast. I'm going to make this into a podcast, right? So I'll be able to produce on both two platforms. But I'm thinking of change the name from $1 Trillion Man, or because that's the eventual goal, to like from broke to rich, something like that. Something regarding broke and rich. I'm broke now, rich later. And we'll change the name. It seems like it's more catchy. I do like $1 Trillion Man vlog. Maybe I'll keep the $1 Trillion Man vlog, but still use some of the audio for. We'll figure it out. I don't like to give too much attention to these side things, because I do want to focus the majority of my mental capacity towards the stock market and trading and managing my books and paying off debt. And as I start to take care of the things that require the most of my mental capacity, then I can reallocate that towards things like this. To go back to what I was saying, as I venture now from being broke to being rich, understanding how to utilize the principle, right? Because it's not a characteristic of finance, right? Fractionation is definitely a word, right? There's definitely a word, but the idea of taking steps to look at the returns on a small and a big scale, right? Just looking at the scaling and the returns and how they're equivalent, using that and applying that to just life might be beneficial to what I'm doing right now. So when I'm paying off my student loans, trying to find a way to use that same application. And the reality of it is, if you look at it this way as well, when you talk about small to big and big to small, right, scaling, I buy $1 of Bitcoin a day. I stopped when it went to 64,000. I didn't sell. I just stopped buying $1 a day. Now it's back to 60. As soon as it hits 60 again, $1 a day. Fractions, right? Small. I don't know how much I'll accumulate by the time it goes up or down, but $1 a day, and the returns that I get percentage-wise with someone who's able to put in $100 a day is going to be equivalent. Or somebody who bought Bitcoin at 60,000 and put in $1 million in, it goes to 65,000. They had an increase of 6%. I should know math better than this. 6%. I think it's 6%. Someone put, if it's wrong, put it in the comments. I got the same thing on my dollar. Like, you put in $1 million, you got 6%. I put in $1, I got 6%. Like, I'm still getting the returns, and holding to a principle to be able to take advantage of price action, take advantage of having equity in an appreciating asset, however small. And as my financial capacity and power increases, I can increase that scale. The return will be the same percentage-wise if I were to invest more, but that will be the plan, right? To invest more than $1 a day in Bitcoin. I want to invest amount of money that you won't feel. When I don't feel $10, which I will feel $10. When I don't feel $10, $10 a day. When I don't feel $100, $100 a day. And the return again is fractal, right? I'm still getting the same return. It's increasing in dollar amount, but percentage-wise, it's going to be the same thing, no matter what. I'm going to work on that work-life balance and understanding that I can put my head down for the next 5 to 7 years, which is the goal. 5 to 7 years to get to the millions. It's to 1 million, but I need millions, so I'm gonna put my foot in it. To get to the millions, And then when I get there, then I look back and say, damn, the last 10 years, I went hard for 7. Now let me enjoy the fruits of my labor for the next 3. They're back at it again, right? 50 and up is 50 and up is 50 mil. Gotta be, right? Last thing, and I thought about this yesterday. If I never get there, which I will, but if I never get there, I feel like I'm playing a different game than everybody else. When I came into my gated community the other day, and the older lady who was checking to make sure that we were residents, let us into the gate. Let me into the gate. I thought to myself, what would I have to be? What would my goal have to be in life to end up where this person is? Like, and I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't know. She may be exactly where she wanted to be. But what would my goal have to be for me to end up working a job that for me doesn't look comfortable? Right? It doesn't look like it's fulfilling. Where would and people play this game. People wake up every day, go to a job they don't necessarily hate. Like, they don't hate, maybe they don't love it, but they don't necessarily hate it. They go to this job and you know, they get paycheck, they go home, they maybe enjoy it somehow, you know, whatever people do to enjoy their money nowadays. And what time is it? There we go. And they just do it again and again and again, and they occasionally have events here and there, and they go to them. But that, I mean, even talking to you right now, I can't even find a way to really rationalize it, to not be directed towards a principal aim. And maybe their aim, whomever it is, maybe their aim is a margin of comfort, and they're just trying to wait it out until the end of days. But I can't, I mean, more power to them, but I can't understand that. So if I never make it, which I will, if I never make it, I am grateful for, and I believe in a higher power. You may not, the universe, whatever. I'm grateful for the visions that I have and the desire that I have. I'm grateful for that. Like, I can see it, and it's mouth watering, and I can feel it, and I can feel the dissatisfaction with waiting. By waiting, I mean like in the water adrift. I could feel dissatisfied with just collecting a paycheck and paying the bills and enjoying a little bit of your money. We're not playing the game that is life. We're living and we're NPCs. These millionaires and billionaires are playing the game. We are just existing, right? If you can't go on a boat and relax on the water and not have to worry about your mortgage or your rent or your car payment when you get back home, or using your PTO and not have enough PTO for Christmas, like, you're not playing the game. You're an NPC. I want to play the game. And that gets me excited. Okay, see you guys next time.